we were we were talking about this a little bit during the show, but I really want to kind of hammer it home, and we were also talking about it at the American Institute for Stuttering, but there's this whole concept that we like to talk about a lot here. Every time Peter and I are in a conversation, this somehow comes up on the show. But the whole avoidance thing, I put out a challenge to everybody in the program. You know, if you feel like challenging yourself, avoid avoidance. You know, I was just wondering, one, what that means to you, Joel, and two, is it something that you're into? Is it something that you think's going to help you out?
Yeah, I mean, when you were talking about that, that resonated with me so much. I have just used countless avoidance tricks in the past. You know, from just...
True. Ricks, I'm really glad that you said that word.
Yeah.
So, okay.
You know, that's just pretty much how I tried to manage my speech, and it was exhausting. And you know, when you think about it, you know, that is almost what probably is more work than actually trying to manage your speech in healthy ways. So
right.
What's the point? You know
exactly.
what I mean? And I think that everybody who stutters has developed these avoidance techniques, which, like we've talked about, is completely natural. But to actually face them head on, I think, is very therapeutic. A lot of different ways.
Yeah, I think so too. What do you think, dude?
As you guys know, I identify as a covert stutterer. I did everything I could to avoid my stuttering at all costs. So for me, avoiding avoidance meant I had to start stuttering openly. And I liked what you said, Joel, about using the eye contact. I figured out the eye contact stuff way after I realized I had to stop hiding and start stuttering. So avoiding avoidance for me, a former covert stutterer, meant it's time to stutter. It's stutter time. So again, I've learned so much from our co-host Greg Snyder. Stop, it's stutter time. And
I've learned so much from MC Hammer.
Well, in one of the very first shows we did, like the first or second show, Greg's like, "Stop, it's stutter time," you know. And I spent about 3.5 years of my life avoiding avoidance, and as a covert stutterer, that meant stuttering openly every day, all of the time. So my rule was, when I entered into a speaking situation in any public environment, a Rite Aid, a drugstore, a restaurant, a bursar's office, I had to stutter on purpose. Because if I didn't, I would go into avoidance.
That's cool.
Yeah, and after like 3.5 years,
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, like literally 3.5 years, where like my buddies would be like, "Dude, we get
enough
it."
already."
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't. Like,
right.
Like I was in a program with
Very
folks
good,
for 3.5 years, and they'd be like, "Dude, every time you give a presentation in grad school, you open up by saying, 'My name is Peter, I'm a stutterer.' We know that." I'm like, "Yeah, you do, but I need to say it." And by the way, most people thought it was really cool.
Yeah, right.
Some people were like, you know, "Dude, you don't have to tell us anymore." I'm like, "Yeah, I do. Not for you, for me."
Wait. Did you ever tell the story on the air about your buddy in school? Because I thought he would probably be one of the guys that says, "Enough already with the stuttering."
It's weird. I went to a program with 200 women, and yeah, put your hand in front of the lens. No, I went to a program with 200 women and 2 men, and the guy comes up to me, and he's like, "Dude," on the first day, "Dude, I don't care who you are, I don't care what you're about, but we're gonna be friends. He had like a kiss hat on. I'm gonna say this on the air. He was really into like hair bands like Kiss and Poison.
Motley Crue.
Yeah, Motley Crue. And which is fine. It really is fine. And I remember I started to lend him Uncle Tupelo, and it was like Beavis and Butthead, where like you would play him something, he didn't want to like it, and he'd start to be like,
This is pretty.
This
This stuff's pretty good. That's really funny.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You get the ankles and I'll get the wrists. You get the ankles and I'll get the wrists. You get the ankles and I'll get the wrists. You'll come down to this side. You get the ankles and I'll get the wrists. You get the ankles and I'll get the wrists. You get the ankles and I'll get the